Hi everyone, today I share how to make this party standard egusi soup recipe. If you do not have time to watch this video, please just click off immediately. But if you have the time now, you can watch it, and if you don't have the time, save this video for later and watch. Now to my pot, I'm going to add in my beef. Then I'm going to add in some bokoto, that is cow leg. I'm going to add in some chopped up onion, some seasoning, salt, and add in a bit of water and allow to steam for some minutes. Mind you, my bokoto or the cow leg has already been cooked for 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm just adding it in here so that it can cook with the beef, because the beef does not need too much time to cook. I'm just going to allow it steam for some minutes so that the seasoning can penetrate into the bokoto and also into the beef so that it can be very tasty. After about 10 minutes, I'm going to check on this, and you can see that the beef has rendered some of its juices already. I'm just going to give this a quick stir. Then I'm going to introduce enough water that will cook this to perfection. Mind you, you can use any other protein. You can use chicken, you can use any other thing that you want to use. Turkey, it is fine. If you'll be using cow leg like I'm doing, you have to boil the cow leg separately first for at least 1 hour 30 minutes before you introduce it into this. For that party style egusi soup, you have to use tomatoes, tatashi, shombo, onion. All this will give it that authentic taste. You're just going to roughly blend this, then you have to set this aside. You can as well pound or just chop them up if you do not have a blender. It's still going to come out perfectly like ever before. Now, into a white pot. For egusi soup, you need a white pot. A white pot, I'm going to add in some palm oil. Allow that heat up a bit before I introduce the already processed peppers, tatashi, shombo, and onion. Add that in. Now, you want to just stir this. Allow this to fry on low heat, medium low heat, for the next 15 minutes or until the water content in it has dried up completely. One thing about egusi soup is that you need very good quality palm oil to achieve the party standard egusi. Now, at this point, I'll check on the meat which I put on fire, and the meat was around 80% cooked already. At this point, I'm going to add in some Pomo ijebu. Pomo ijebu is different from bokoto. Pomo ijebu is very soft. I just added it at this point. Then I went in with my stockfish. My stockfish, you can see how scattered it's looking. I had to add it at this point so that it does not scatter even further when I add it at the beginning of the cooking. So I added it at this point then and allowed it to cook till it was ready. While that is finishing up cooking, I'm just going to prep the rest of the ingredients. Now for my egusi, I'm going to transfer my smoothly blended egusi into a wide enough bowl. Then I'm going to start adding in water bit by bit. What we want to do here is to form a paste, a not too thick paste and not too runny paste. If the paste is too thick, then it might not cook thoroughly and it might start burning so fast. So I'm just going to add in the water bit by bit till I achieve this whitish and also smooth paste that is not so watery nor too thick. So once I achieve this, I'm just going to set this aside till I need it. Into my blender, I'm going to add in some crayfish, enough crayfish, onion, then yellow pepper, red pepper, dawadawa, and I'm going to blend. See guys, using yellow pepper for your egusi soup gives it this authentic taste, party taste, and it is really very nice. So this is it when I finish blending, smooth, and I'm going to set aside for use later. Back to the sauce, you can see after 11 minutes it's looking dried already. I'm just going to season lightly with seasoning, salt, then I'm going to stir everything well to combine. Then in the next 1 minute, once the seasoning is well cooked, I'm going to take this aside. You can see how I'm removing it. I'm just making sure that I leave the oil in the pot so that I can use that to fry the egusi. Remember what I said about using good quality palm oil. I'm going to add more palm oil to these pots, just a bit. Then I'm going to add in some chopped up onion. Allow that to saute for the next 1 to 2 minutes on medium heat before I start introducing my egusi pastes. The egusi paste is going to be introduced, and you reduce the heat to the lowest heat because you do not want this to start burning. Let me not lie to you, no matter how you do it, egusi soup will still burn. Even if it's a little, it will still burn. Just make sure that you keep stirring on it and do not lose guard. So I'm just going to add in the paste at this point, add in the rinse out, then I'm going to just stir things a bit because I want the lumps. If you don't want the lumps, start stirring immediately, but I still want it to have some of that lump. Then I'm just going to cover this up and allow this to start frying on low heat for the next 2 to 3 minutes. So guys, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, egusi done the burn. Guess what I did? Immediately I started stirring it bit by bit, but making sure I don't break all the lumps because I still wanted that lumps. That's how you achieve egusi lumps. So I just started stirring it bit by bit, cover it up, come back in the next 5 minutes, stirring bit by bit. You can see it's burning. Do not worry, it is part of the party standard flavor. So I'm just going to continue stirring bit by bit till you can see that the egusi is completely yellow, no more white spot again. It means that the egusi has absorbed all the oil and the egusi is now about 60% cooked already. Now that I'm done frying the egusi, I'm going to add in the already made stew. I'm going to add it in at this point. Give this a slight mix so that it does not break the lumps. Then at this point, I'm going to add in my meat stock. If you have excess meat stock, don't add everything. But if you have moderate, just enough, just add in that into the pot, because if you add in too much, then the soup might be watery at the end. So I just try to go in bit by bit so that I can still achieve that thick soup. So if I still need to loosen the consistency, I'll add in more meat stock later. So I added it at this point, stirred, cover this up to start boiling for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Do not worry, I'll leave the full list of ingredients and the measurements in the description below. The description is just at the title of the video. Just click on the title and you see the description box below and you will see it there. So after about 10 minutes, you can see how the egusi is looking. Not too watery, not too thick. I'll give it a quick stir before I now go in with my blended crayfish, peppers, onion, Dawadawa and Ogiri. Add it in at this point. Then I'm just going to give this a polite stir, not too much stir, and I'm just going to taste. Now, after I've introduced that, I'm going to now cover this up, allow this to cook for the next 5 to 10 minutes again. Then I'm just going to check on it. But at this point, I'm going to add in my fish. The fish I'm using is Panla with smoked catfish. So I washed that with some salt and hot water, and this is how it's looking. I'm going to add that in at this point, give it a proper stir. Then I'll now introduce my protein. That is the beef and the cow foot which I cooked earlier on. Add that in at this point, give it a quick stir. You can see how thick the soup is looking. It's better it is thick than for it to be watery. Now I'm going to add in some meat stock, more meat stock, so that it can loosen the consistency just a bit. The fact about egusi soup is that it drinks water instantly. So do not add so much water. Just add it in bit by bit and you will enjoy your soup. So I'm just going to allow this to cook on medium heat for the next 5 to 10 minutes again. After about 5 minutes, I opened this, check on it so that I'm sure that it is not burning too much. So guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, do well to hit the subscribe button, like this video, share with your friends, family members, your enemies, everybody, share with them. So about 3 minutes later, I'm just going to add in my Uziza leaves. Guys, if you've not been using Uziza leaves at the end of your cooking, you people are missing out on something. No, either you use Uziza seeds or Uziza leaves. Like, it just changes the taste of the egusi soup to a perfect one. It gives it that standard taste. So I'm going to add in my Uziza leaves. Then I'm going to stir everything what's combined. Then once I add in Uziza leaves, what I like doing is that I will cover the soup, put it on low heat, allow that Uziza leaves to infuse into the pot of soup gently. At this point, you can take down this pot of soup and start eating, but I like to go a bit further by adding in more veggies because I love my egusi rich with veggies. So I'm going to add in my already washed and sliced ugu leaves at this point. Once I add in ugu leaves, I'm just going to turn off the heat immediately, then cover the pot, allow this to steam with the residual heat in the pot, and that's it. Guys, another hack to enjoy your egusi soup is to add in grounded crayfish at the end. Like at this point, just add in some crayfish powder. then you now mix everything what's combined. But I forgot to do that because at this day I filmed 2 recipes and I was very tired, and they were soup recipes. So this is basically how you make your party standard egusi soup. I forgot to mention that you should adjust with some seasoning if needed, but I only adjusted with some salt and not seasoning cube, since I had seasoned the beef with seasoning cube, the stew with seasoning cube. I do not need seasoning cube again. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rate this soup, because on a scale of 1 to 10, I will rate this 11 over 10. So guys, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, share with your friends, family, and that's it. So this is me enjoying my egusi soup with some hot semo. I feel like either semo or fufu pairs well with egusi soup, and that's basically how you enjoy your egusi soup. So guys, see you all in my next video. Bye for now.